Good morning, Manitoba. I am Larry McIntosh, and I'll be your host for the next hour and every Saturday morning from 8 to 9. Thanks for tuning in. Just last week, the students went back to school, and you guessed it, that means that fundraising season has officially started. For all of you that are involved in school or daycare fundraising in some way, I just wanted to tell you about the Farm to School Manitoba Healthy Choice Fundraiser. Now, this fundraiser is open to all Manitoba schools, public or private, K-12, and all licensed daycares anywhere in the province of Manitoba. Basically, the fundraiser works like this. The students or parents sell bundles of Manitoba-grown peak-of-the-market vegetables to raise money for their school or daycare. It could be to raise money for a school band trip, a sports tournament, new equipment, whatever it might be. Bundle A has carrots, cooking onions, and red potatoes and sells for $10. Bundle B has a larger pack of carrots, red potatoes, and cooking onions, as well as green cabbage and parsnips, and it sells for $20. The great thing about this fundraiser is that the school or daycare keeps half the selling price, a 50% profit for the school or daycare. Now, this is a great fundraiser. Last year, the fundraiser raised over $400,000 for Manitoba schools and daycares. That means the schools or daycares kept $400,000 towards whatever they were fundraising for. The fundraiser runs until December 12th and is open to any school or daycare anywhere in Manitoba, whether you're up north or right here in Winnipeg or Brandon, wherever it might be, any school or daycare. If you're interested in getting more information on the Farm to School fundraiser or to register your school or daycare, please visit their website at farmtoschoolmanitoba.ca. That's farmtoschoolmanitoba.ca. Or there's a link from our website at peakmarket.com. Great fundraiser, and now is the time to look at it. My guest this morning is Cherry Karpyshin, General Manager of Prairie Theatre Exchange. Good morning, Cherry.
Good morning, Larry. Thanks so much for having me on this show today.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for coming. You're gearing up for the new season, I imagine.
We are, yes. We had a quiet summer. A lot of staff take their holidays during the summer, which is great. And we have a lot of, like now our seasonal staff is returning, so meaning these are the people that build the shows. So we've got carpenter and wardrobe and our technical director, our box office staff. So we're really gearing up, and it's getting very exciting. It's very quiet in the summer. Sometimes there's only 3 of us in the office, but I think we've increased to about 16 right now. So
oh, wow, okay.
Busy place. Yeah, it's great.
So let's go back a bit. PTE, how long has it been around?
We were founded in 1972, and we actually started as the Manitoba Theatre Workshop. And it was, we originally came from, the Manitoba Theatre Centre had a theatre school. And as they were growing, the theatre school was also growing, but they also came to a point where they had to make decisions to really invest on the stage. It was I was at the school at the time. I was the administrator, and it was a very difficult decision for MTC to sort of have to separate off the school because it was very important to them. But at the same time, they were growing in leaps and bounds, and they were, they were the largest regional theater. So it was important for them to focus on the stage work, but also how do we look after all the kids that were in the school. We had a real champion, Justice Charles Huband, who actually is a life member on our board. He gathered together some parents, Colin Jackson, who was a teacher at the time in the school, and they got together and they formed the Manitoba Theatre Workshop, which basically was a theatre school. And we changed our name in 1981 to Prairie Theatre Exchange, and as I say, the rest is history. So here we are.
1981, and you're located at where are you located right now?
We're on the 3rd floor of Portage Place, but we originally started where Red River Community College is now on Princess Street. That was our original home. It was we gutted the space, and we had a lot of volunteers and actors from the community come out and paint and knock down walls and make a theater workshop. But we moved out in 1989, moved into Portage Place, and here we are.
And just for anybody that's listening that wonders that I didn't know where your theater was and saw us at the last play, I was asking for the listeners, not that I didn't know where Portage Place was. Shelley and I went to the last play of the season. What was it?
Harvest.
Harvest, yes, right. I should have known that.
Yes, by Ken Cameron. Yes.
Right, and we had a great time, and Ken was there that night, I believe.
Yes,
right?
he was. Yes,
it was a great time. And that was the last one of the season. And now you'll be starting up your new one next month?
Yeah, well, you actually go into rehearsal on the 23rd of September. So stage management starts next Monday. They come in a week before the actors, and we open with Small Things, which is a new play by Daniel McIver. Daniel's really is well known as a playwright, and also some of his plays have actually been turned into movies. So we're excited. We commissioned. We've been working with Daniel for a while on it, and we're delighted to be able to premiere this new play of his.
Now we're going to spend some time over the next hour talking about the upcoming plays that are coming along, and some of them sound very exciting. I'll let you explain them, but I was reading through the brochure. But if you haven't been to the theater, how would you describe that? How would you describe the theater?
Well, the technical term is we are a thrust space, and what that means.
I would never got that. That's for sure.
And what that means is basically like the stage is thrust into the audience. Like if you go to the Manitoba Theatre Centre, you're in a proscenium, meaning the stage is at one end of the hall and the seats are back from that. In a thrust space, it means you've got seating on three sides. But we it's more like a horseshoe, and I always see it as sort of arms hugging the stage. That's I see the audience kind of hugging the stage and the work that the actors do, because it's sort of like if you stand in the center section at the back, it's like your arms are out and sort of encompassing these people that that interact with the actors on stage.
And it is a very intimate, if that's the right word. I was going to say theater in the round, and I was thinking about that this morning, and no, it's not all the way around. Horseshoe is probably a good way of putting it.
Yes.
But you're right there with the actors. You're really part of it. It's a really neat feeling.
Yeah, and it was something when we were in the old space on Princess, before we moved into Portage Place, we got feedback from our audience members and said, what do you like about, the space here? And they said they really liked the configuration of the theater. The only thing was the center section was only 2 rows deep, which it's now 10 rows deep. But they really liked that configuration. So it was important to us to, as the patrons are, are sort of our bread and butter. We need our patrons to support the work that we do. And so we were really happy to consult with them and to build the theater that we have today.
We'll be right back with Cherry, the general manager of PTE, after we take this break. Welcome back to Food and Friends. I'm really excited to announce that Peak of the Market now has a mobile recipe app. It's available free through the Apple, Android, or BlackBerry World app stores. All you have to do is go to one of these sites and just do a search for Peak Recipes. Now, our free app has over 4,000 recipes at your fingertips. You can create a shopping list. You can also add extra items to the shopping list, so when you go to the store, you have a complete list in the app. We have thousands. What I'm trying to say is we know there's thousands of apps out there, but we're really proud of this one. We really hope you'll give it a try. For every person who downloads the free Peak Recipe app by October 31st, Peak of the Market growers will donate 20 pounds of fresh vegetables, up to 1 million pounds, to the Winnipeg Harvest Food Bank. So we already have over 1,000 downloads of the free app, and we've had very positive feedback. So we'd love you to go before the end of October, download the app, and of course 20 pounds will go to Winnipeg Harvest. As you can tell, we're very excited by our new recipe app, and we're really helpful. We really are proud that we're helping out some less fortunate people than ourselves by giving some fresh veggies to Winnipeg Harvest. We're back with Cherry, a general manager of PTE Prairie Theatre Exchange. Now, Cherry, you have been very generous and have brought a voucher for 2 tickets to Vigil, which runs at PTE from November 19th through to December 7th. Can you tell us a little bit about the play?
Sure. Vigil was written by Morris Panich. He's a Canadian playwright, and it's a black comedy is sort of the short description of it. There's a lot of humor and love in it, and basically it's about Kemp, who is played by Michael Spencer Davis. He's an ex-Winnipegger who now works at a Stratford Festival, and he receives a letter from his aging Aunt Grace, who is played by Doreen Brownstone, a senior, well-respected artist from Winnipeg. And Aunt Grace is saying she's not well and she doesn't have long, to live, and ask Kemp to come out and visit her. So Kemp comes out to visit her, and lo and behold, Auntie is getting better. So, which is very confusing and can also be very funny, but it has a real twist at the end. So I think I'll just leave it at that.
You're not going to tell us the twist?
No, I'm not.
I guess it wouldn't be a twist if you shared that part, right?
Absolutely.
So this Vigil is playing November 19th to December 7th. So if you want to enter your name into what I'm trying to say here, let me rephrase this. If you want to enter your name into the draw to win these tickets, please send me an email before 10 a.m. to Larry McIntosh at peakmarket.com. That's Larry McIntosh at peakmarket.com. And in the subject line, put Sesame Street. Yes, Sesame Street. Now, in case you haven't seen them, Peak of the Market has launched a line of very colorful Sesame Street potato bags. Just came out in the stores this week. Yes, Big Bird, Elmo, Bert, Ernie, Grover, Abby, and Oscar are now on Peak of the Market potato bags. So please look for them in your local store. Again, if you want to enter your name for the draw for these 2 tickets to see Vigil, please send me an email before 10 o'clock this morning to Larry McIntosh at peakmarket.com, and in the subject line, put Sesame Street, and we'll do a random draw from the emails we receive, and we'll let you know later this weekend. So you were saying earlier the first play coming up is?
Small Things by Daniel McIver.
And when's that one start?
That one starts on October the 15th and plays through till November 2nd.
Okay.
And then we take that set off and we put the set on for Vigil, which you've mentioned the dates are from November 19th to December 7th. Then we do a family holiday show over the Christmas break, and it's called Munch Upon a Time. And for a number of you, actually, this is our 25th anniversary that we have been taking Robert Munch stories, and Debbie Patterson has been our adapter, and she adapts the stories into a play format. And this will play from December 19th to January 4. We have all the show times are on the website already. And then the actors have a week's break, and then they tour the province, Winnipeg schools and the province, and southeast Saskatchewan for 10 weeks from January 12th to March 22nd. After that, or before that, actually on our main stage in January, we are bringing in Life, Death, and the Blues from Theatre Passe Muraille in Toronto. This is, if you're a blues fan, get your tickets now, because I think this is going to be a real hot seller. It talks about the history of the blues. It's very interactive. It's been conceived by Raoul Benicia out of Toronto. It is going to also star Divine Brown, a blues singer from Toronto, and a 3-piece band. So look forward to really presenting this on our stage.
Isn't that unusual to have a 3-piece band on the play as well?
It is. Yes, it is.
You're mixing things up here.
We are. We definitely are. And I think it's going to be really exciting. And then in addition to that, what they're going to do is they'll be in contact with some blues artists in Winnipeg, and they're going to be inviting them up on the stage afterwards to jam with them. So I think this is a really unique experience, and I really hope that people come along and enjoy what's happening.
And going back to the Munch, you said that you've been doing that for 25 years?
25 years.
Because I remember my daughter Brittany, who doesn't like me talking about this, but she's in her 20s now, and I remember taking her to that as a kid.
Yeah.
And that was a fun time.
Yeah, it's really popular. And also we've added pajama shows where you can come at 7 o'clock, the kids come in their pajamas, and we serve milk and cookies in the lobby, which is sponsored by Safeway after the show. So it's a really nice family, spend an hour with your family. So it's great. We've got a lot of grandma and grandpas coming and aunties and uncles. So yeah, it's fun.
We'll be right back with Terry from PTE after we take this break for your 680 CJOB weather update. Welcome back to Food and Friends. It's time for a recipe segment called Now We're Cooking. Now, you don't need to write this recipe down, as it's today's recipe of the day at peakmarket.com and in the Winnipeg Sun. So all the information is available from our website or today's Winnipeg Sun. Today's recipe is broccoli soup. Broccoli soup. Now, this is a perfect time for this recipe with Manitoba broccoli available, and the weather is kind of cooled off a little bit this week, so it's kind of nice for soup. Here's what you need for the recipe. 2 cups of chopped broccoli, 2 cups of chicken broth, 1 cup of buttermilk, half a teaspoon of dried basil, and half a teaspoon of dried tarragon, and any salt and pepper to taste. In a saucepan over a medium-high heat, cook the broccoli in the chicken broth for about 10 minutes or until tender. Refrigerate the broccoli and broth until thoroughly chilled. Then in a blender, puree the chilled mixture and add the buttermilk and seasoning until pureed. Serve chilled, and this recipe serves 6. Now, this seems like a pretty easy recipe. I think I could do this one. Again, this recipe, broccoli soup, is today's recipe of the day at peakmarket.com and in the Winnipeg Sun. And all the recipes on our website and in the newspaper have both metric and imperial measurements. And you can also access thousands of recipes at peakmarket.com. And you can even get recipes via email, what I was trying to say there. You can simply go to peakmarket.com and click on email recipes, And our system will ask you for your email address and the province and how often you want to receive the recipes, and those automatically come to your inbox. It's that simple, and you certainly can unsubscribe at any time. We currently have over 45,000 subscribers in 202 countries that receive our free recipe emails. So to receive recipes, just go to peakmarket.com. We'll be right back with Cherry, General Manager of Prairie Theatre Exchange, after we take this break for your 680 CJOB News, Sports, and Weather. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Food and Friends. We have lots of Manitoba-grown vegetables available right now at your local store. So here's a quick Manitoba crop update of veggies that you can get at your local store. Are you ready? We have beets, broccoli, which was in the recipe, kale, leeks, cauliflower, parsnips, green, red, and Savoy cabbage, carrots, corn, cooking onions, shallots, green and jalapeno peppers, and red and russet potatoes. That's a lot of crops. It's a great time of year. Some of the crops are starting to wind down with the cooler weather, but certainly all these crops are going to be available for a while. So when you visit your local store, please look for locally grown products. And as always, if it says Peak of the Market on the label, you're guaranteed it's grown right here in Manitoba. We're back with Cherry, General Manager of Prairie Theatre Exchange. So do you eat a lot of vegetables?
I do.
Yeah?
And I do love the Peak of the Market vegetables.
Well, it's very nice.
I'm a supporter.
Oh, I appreciate that. So all those vegetables, can you name them back alphabetically? Were you listening? I'm just kidding.
Oh, no.
If you could, that would be impressive. I couldn't even do that.
8 o'clock in the morning, Larry.
So you're General Manager of Prairie Theatre Exchange right now, and you said you've been there for a while in different capacities. Is theater always been in your blood? You always been involved in the industry?
I actually wanted to be a ballet dancer,
Oh.
and I worked very hard at that. And my dad even had a ballet bar in the basement for me, so I could practice. And so I knew. I guess I had a propensity to move towards the arts. And then I started working, and I was working at a job in advertising that was very busy and varied. And then I ended up working at the Manitoba Theatre Centre Theatre School. And I think halfway through day one, I was hooked. So that's where what I've been doing ever since, and absolutely love it.
So have you been in some place?
Oh, no.
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 You can memorize all those lines that I'm always
no.
impressed the actors. I have trouble reading things, never mind actually memorizing lines.
Yeah, no, I really I enjoy being behind my desk and meeting the artists, and I have great admiration for them. I sit in the theater, and I honestly, I don't know how they do it every day. Every performance they come out, and they work so hard, and they're just it's magical, and I can't deliver that magic. I appreciate the magic that they deliver. So yeah.
So how do you you talked about some of the plays you're going to have up to the new year. How do you come up with the plays? Like, how does that selection happen?
Bob Metcalf is our artistic director, and it is his job, main job, is to select the plays for the season. So he reads a lot of plays, and it's a real challenge because it's, he's got to figure in, how many actors are in the play, what is the set going to look like, what is the cost going to be. Like, it's multifaceted. It isn't just, saying I want to do this play. And he likes to have a theme for the season, like how do the plays link? Is there, what is this what is the thread through? What is the journey the subscribers and patrons will go on? So, and he usually starts that in, actually now, he's directing the first 2 plays of the season, and will also be planning our 2015-16 season.
Wow.
So it is a process. And then he picks the plays, and then we do the budgets, and then he might have to change a play or two. So it's an ongoing process, but a lot of work from him. That's his main focus and to hire the actors.
So these plays that have they been going on somewhere else? Is that how you find them, or?
Sometimes, yes. I mean, the Playing with Fire, which we're going to be doing in February, that was performed at the Alberta Theatre Projects 2 years ago. Vigil has been performed before. We did it actually in 1997, again with Doreen Brownstone. Small Things is a new play. It's a new play that Daniel McIver is writing, and so that we are working. Bob is working with Daniel on dramaturging the play with him. Last year we did Social Studies, a new play by Trish Cooper, a Winnipegger. So it's a combination of both, both plays that have been produced before and new plays. And Bob really tries to program a new play at least every 2 years. So it's really important to invest in the playwrights. If we didn't have a play, we wouldn't have theater. We need the chicken and the egg,
So Bob and yourself, you're obviously involved in these things, and you have to look at the plays, you have to look at the number of actors, as you said, and the budget and all those kind of things. And that's got to be an amazing thing to do, and you have to work a long ways in advance. But you also have to, you have season ticket holders, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But you're also probably some of the plays will be more attractive to other people that don't come every time, I would think.
Yes, absolutely. And that's part of the journey. Bob always likes to have, 1 or 2 plays in season that are really challenging for people, and plays that they'll just be tapping their toes, So it's important that the journey of the season have something for everyone. Are you going to like all the plays? We hope so. Is that 100%? Probably not. There's going to be people that are going to say, that was my favorite. No, that was my favorite. And Bob will always say, I have people coming up in the lobby, because he's often in the lobby during, at intermission and after the plays, where someone will say, that's my favorite play of the season. And others will say, well, maybe it wasn't my favorite, So, and that is what theater is. It appeals to, plays will appeal to a variety of people, and for whatever the subject matter, or some of them touch home for people, whether it's about something that they've experienced. So it really is a personal experience for people.
What's your favorite play been of all time?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
Well, then you're ready for it then.
Do you want to? Should I read the list? Well, I'll name a few. Zadie's Shoes that we did, Bob did, written by Adam Peddle. The Fighting Days, which Wendy Lill wrote, and that's one of our. That was way back when PT was first founded. We did that, I think, in 1981 or somewhere. I think it was around 1979, 1980. Written by Wendy Lill, based on Nellie McClung. There's Social Studies, which we did last year. A Doll's House, which Bruce McManus, the Winnipeg playwright, did an adaptation of Henrik Ibsen's A Doll's House. It was based in Winnipeg, and it was just really touching for me. So, yeah, but there's a list. There really is.
Oh, I'm sure there is. It'd be hard to narrow it down, I'm sure.
It is, absolutely.
So how many plays would you have in this upcoming season?
We have 5 adult plays and the children's show, and then we do the Carol Shields Festival of New Works in May, which is a 3-day festival, and it incorporates new plays, readings of new plays, short scripts, dance pieces, new music. It's a really exciting festival. Usually it's in mid-May, from Thursday to Saturday.
And do you have a favorite in this coming season so far, the 5?
Oh, it's a tough one this year.
Oh, come on. You can do it.
I don't know. They all have something that really grabs at my my heartstrings, or taps, my toes will be tapping. So I like them all. I think it's going to be an exciting season for people to join us.
So if people are interested in getting tickets, season tickets or individual tickets, do you have a website, I'm assuming?
We do, yes. www.pte.mb. Yes, that's the website. And sorry.
They can always Google it or Bing it too. So yeah.
Yeah, or they can call the box office. So absolutely.
And there's tickets available?
There is, yeah.
Now the one with the 3-piece band, I think that one's going to go fast.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's
Well, we're sort of seeing it as Chelsea. We did Chelsea Hotel last year based on the songs of Leonard Cohen, and that one started selling, I guess late September, early October, and we were seeing sellout shows. So I think that one and Playing with Fire, the Theo Fleury story. Theo was born in Russell, Manitoba, and it's his story, and I think that's it's one actor playing Theo, and he's gonna be on skates the whole play, skating on a ice rink. So yeah, I think that's gonna be an exciting one for people as well.
We'll be right back with Cherry from Prairie Theatre Exchange after we take this break. Welcome back. Each Food and Friends radio show was filmed and will be posted at MyToba.ca later this weekend. So if you want to watch the TV version of this radio show or any previous radio show, please visit MyToba.ca. Thanks to 680 CJOB's Nicole, who produces our show. Now, I have to say, it was Nicole's 5th anniversary with CJOB on Monday, so happy anniversary, Nicole. And Chad, who operates the camera, as well as the teachers of the Broadcasting and Media Arts program at Techvoc High School for making this all possible. You can also listen to an audio podcast of Food and Friends at soundcloud.com or at the iTunes store. Again, please do a search for Food and Friends with Larry at MyToba.ca or SoundCloud.com or the iTunes Store, and all the shows will come up for your listening or viewing pleasure. It's very important for me to mention that Food and Friends is only available because of 680 CJOB and its advertisers. So please make sure you tune in to CJOB or listen live at cjob.com. As I mentioned earlier, Cherry was very generous and has brought us a voucher for 2 tickets to see Vigil, which runs at PTE from November 19th through to December 7th. So if you'd like to enter into the draw, please send your name via email to Larry McIntosh at peakmarket.com before 10 o'clock this morning. And this is important. In the subject line, you have to put Sesame Street. So again, if you want to enter the draw for 2 tickets to Vigil, send an email to Larry McIntosh at peakmarket.com before 10 o'clock this morning and put in the subject line Sesame Street. And that's in honor of the potato bags we launched this week that have Sesame Street characters on them that are now in your local store. And I love them. I hope you do too. We're back with Cherry, General Manager of Prairie Theatre Exchange. Thank you so much for donating the tickets for our listeners. That's great. Now, we were talking off air about the theatre school. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, PT actually started, we were founded as a theater school, as I mentioned earlier, so it's a very important component of who we are. And we have 3 drama classrooms for drama classes, and we also have a film studio, which is a new studio that we actually constructed when we were doing the renovations a couple of years ago. The school starts at age 5. It is more of a recreational school, but you can come and take acting foundations and musical theater and playwriting, and it's a really it's a great way for kids to sort of be introduced to theater and introduced to the arts. We have a very strong adult component. We sometimes have teachers and lawyers that love to come to take classes because it gives them self-confidence and helps them to express themselves in different, in very constructive ways. So it's, I think the theater school offers a wide variety of classes for people out there, and the students all have fun, whether you're 5 or you're 80. We've had some of our adults are mature adults, and they have a good time. They do it because it's something they've always wanted to do. So I encourage people, if you're willing to, try your hand at acting, please call the theater school or go on the website. They have their website. So please check us out. We'd love to see you.
So that's right where the theater is, the same location?
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's really neat to have like the professional theater and the theater school. And we also do corporate workshops. So we've done one for the Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce where we get the staff together, and it's a different way of professional development because you're actually on your feet and you're interacting with each other. And it can be a fun afternoon, but also it really does focus on team building and self-confidence. So I encourage companies out there, if they're interested in something new for their staff, give us a call. It's something that we can certainly explore.
So this is a corporate events that surprises me. I mean, I was going to ask you if you could do adult classes. You answered that question, but corporate events, I didn't know you did that.
Yeah, it's a very unique way of getting your staff together, and it helps them. It sort of breaks down some barriers. We don't force anyone to do anything. So if you're not comfortable, it's not like you have to get up and start acting. But through theater and through theater games, pretty soon you'll discover how creative you can be and how confident you can become and how you can really interact with your fellow staff members just through the vehicle of theater.
We did some TV commercials probably about a month ago now. I guess they're going to be airing shortly in the next week or two with some kids in some fields out in Portage la Prairie and some of our potato and carrot fields out there. But I should have probably taken the acting lessons before I did the commercials. Now that I knew they were there.
There you go.
The kids, they knew their lines. I was the one who was having problems there.
Well, you could always call us.
Yeah, before the next set. Maybe.
Absolutely.
I wasn't sure. I thought it was just kids, I'll be honest with you.
No, we have a very strong adult component. It's been growing, and we have adults that will come back. We've got one that's kind of working through all the classes. And he's a professional, and he enjoys. This is a really good recreational outlet for him.
So we're coming to the end of this segment, but I just want to say that, if you're looking for tickets, season tickets or individual tickets, go to the PTE website and you can do a search for that. But what are the plays upcoming? And just give us the titles there real quick.
Okay, so we've got Small Things and then Vigil. Playing with, Life, Death, and the Blues in January.
That's the
playing
one with the three-piece band that I keep talking about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Playing with Fire in February, and we close with Sherlock Holmes, The Hound of the Baskervilles.
Oh.
And don't forget Munch at Christmas.
Munch at Christmas is a really good one, too.
Absolutely.
That's sentimental to me. But the Sherlock Holmes, we hadn't got a chance to mention that one earlier. So that's later in the year?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it closes the season in April. Yeah, from April the 7th to April the 26th.
I would guess that would be a popular one, too.
Oh, yeah. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
Really?
3 actors playing many parts.
So how many nights of theater would you have over the course of a season?
We have over 100. We do about 20 performances per production, so we have well over 100 evenings of performances and some matinees.
I was talking in the last half hour. It's very intimate. You're very close to the actors, kind of a horseshoe as you described it. How many people does it sit?
323.
Really? Okay. I see. I wouldn't even guess there was that many. I thought it was even smaller. That feels so comfortable.
Those arms hugging, I told you.
Those arms hugging.
Those arms
as you described earlier. We'll be right back with Terry from the Prairie Theatre Exchange after we take this break. Welcome back to Food and Friends. Please join me next Saturday when my guest will be Dave Shamrock, the Executive Director of the Manitoba Food Processors Association. Dave will tell us about the Manitoba Food Processors Taste Awards. This is something brand new. You can nominate and then vote for your favorite local food, retailer, or restaurant that features local food. So it's all about local, and certainly the Manitoba Food Processors are involved in the Buy Manitoba program as well. My guest today has been Cherry, from the General Manager of Prairie Theatre Exchange. This has been a lot of fun.
It has been, Larry. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I've really enjoyed it. And we invite people to be daring, be brave, come to the theater, take a theater school class, get your company to do a corporate workshop. So we look forward to seeing you at PTE.
And if you've never been at PTE, it's well worth checking out. It's a very nice environment, and I highly recommend it. Thank you for being on Food and Friends.
Thanks again.
Thanks to Nicole Bonnikamp, our show's producer. Take care, and please don't forget to eat your veggies.